video is to explain a little bit more about these new laws I wrote, and I've only actually shown one of them and made one of them public because, you know, this is a result of 15 years of experience, grueling hard work. I can't just do this stuff and then give it away like, here, it's free. I think only a lunatic would do that. I have bills to pay, and I know the value of the work that I've been involved in doing. Now, earlier today I made a phone call to the FBI office in Red Bank, New Jersey to report this death threat email that was sent to me a couple of months ago, apparently from somebody connected to Naval Intelligence Reserve. It's apparently designed to scare me, and it's not because I'm a peace activist and I've got a fact sheet on democratic socialism, which I love and I think we should have. I'm not going to back down from any of this constitutionally protected speech here. But it's just another thing that I come across and then develop a way to counter it. So maybe it actually helped, you know. But as I said, what I want to see, and all my work has been involved in, is protecting people, especially young people, saving lives, you know, stopping harassment. I don't think we need to live in a country, or rather, I don't think we need to allow our country to have a whole array of highly subversive tactics to be used against almost anyone that will really shake them up so much they might have a nervous breakdown or a suicide. I don't think any of that should exist. And after studying these things for so many years, I wrote 12 or 15 new laws that will prevent all of it. Now, for anybody at the FBI office in Red Bank who's investing my case, I guess you can call it, you're going to see that I have reported quite a bit of corruption over the past 15 years. And if any new agents are looking into my case, I can tell you what, none of it has been addressed. Not only that, but every single thing that I've reported, whether it was engaged against me or someone else I reported, it's still occurring. There's like no laws against it. So what I've been doing, as I said, is basically, after several years of being subjected to it and seeing it and studying it, I developed ways to counter it and wrote a slew of new fantastic laws that prevent like 99% of it. There are, as I said, these big Fed bankers. When my name comes across their desk, they don't like me. They try to pump out defamation about me. Don't believe it. This whole assortment of different subversive tactics that I mentioned, that I studied, stumbled upon, and then developed ways to counter, they can be used against anyone. FBI agents or their relatives, God forbid, federal judges, prosecutors. What I did was I wrote specific laws that say hidden cameras are illegal. Plus, if you put it on the internet, mandatory $5,000 fine. You know, that's my stuff. 20% given to the victim. 20% of the fines given to anyone reporting it, because it's a whole other thing of how to report these things, and that's why the term subversive harassment is often used, is it's hard to even find out if that harassment is being engaged in. So all the laws I wrote involve giving a 20% commission or bounty to anyone who reports it. These 12 or 15 new laws will come into federal court in like 4 separate lawsuits. Okay, the first one I'm filing this week, and it has my new clone page law in it. And I'm going to be asking a federal judge to deem existing law unconstitutional because it fails to properly protect, and instead amend it with my new clone page law. Way better than the California law that just got passed last week. And then the second, third, and fourth lawsuits will bring in my other protection laws. They're fantastic, I tell you. The only people that would be opposed to me making these changes are the people that use those harassment techniques. I can't imagine anyone in the FBI, even the FBI director himself, and he's a great guy. I love Director Mueller. From the bottom of my heart, he's just a wonderful gentleman. He wouldn't want to see these harassment techniques being used on anyone either.
The FBI is both a law enforcement and a national security agency, which means we can and we must address every angle of a cyber case. This is critical because what may start as a criminal investigation may lead to a national security threat. I take, for example, a next-generation bank robbery that occurred last fall. A group of cyber criminals orchestrated a highly sophisticated attack on a major financial institution. Hackers found their way into the network of this institution and altered the data to allow them to increase the funds available for a number of accounts. They also stole account data and created duplicate ATM cards. And then one day, early last fall, they struck. Within 24 hours, the thieves targeted more than 2,100 ATM machines in 280 cities around the world. They inserted their phony ATM cards, then walked away with more than $9 million. I will tell you that arrests have been made internationally, and that investigation is an ongoing investigation. To put it in perspective, however, imagine for a moment that these groups had simultaneously entered dozens of banks armed with assault weapons and emptied the vaults. It would have been one of the most notorious bank heists in history. But instead, this attack was planned and executed under the radar, using computers and fiber optic cables as weapons. They did it without a shot being fired and then disappeared back into the ether. Such techniques make global deterrence a challenge, to put it mildly. The perpetrators can be any place in the world, and so can the victims, and for that matter, the evidence you need to prosecute. At a minimum, piecing together a case requires close collaboration with our counterparts in other countries, but actually prosecuting one requires harmonizing different criminal justice systems, all of which work according to the laws of their own lands. The global scale and scope of such attacks puts law enforcement at a definite disadvantage.
So it's not even that the FBI wants certain things it can do to people. It doesn't want that. The FBI follows the Constitution, and so does our military. Even the intel services in Washington, they don't want to see these things, these wide open areas that allow extremely nasty harassment to occur against anyone. They themselves could be harassed in these manners, and they know that too. So I think we're all on board on the same page. And I've got the new laws written from studying this stuff extensively for 15 years to prevent 99% of it, as I said. The only thing I need is money.